Lainey. My dream is to be a nurse.
Malolele, my name is Anna and my dream is to be a teacher.
Hi, my name is Ridley. I want to be a pilot.
Hello Lele, my name is Makali. My dream is to be an artist.
Malay, my name is Mosa. My dream is to be a judge.
The I Have a Dream program started in East Harlem, New York City in 1981. This guy, Eugene Lang, he had grown up in the area, gone to public school 121, that was the name of the elementary school. He had become a successful businessman and a philanthropist, and the school had asked him to come back and give the graduation speech to the sixth graders as they went off to high school. As he's walking up to the podium, the principal told him that of these 60 graduating sixth graders, only 25% of them would actually graduate from high school in 4 years' time. And so that was a bit of a shock to him. He hadn't realised those kind of statistics lived there. And as he started into his speech, he's going, hey kids, stay in school, study hard, work hard, you'll be a success. He looked out, he realised the words were just going like this. And so he basically stopped in the middle of his speech and said, right, any of you kids that stay in school, if you graduate, I'll pay your way through university. And there was a gasp throughout the audience. And he probably came off stage and thought, what the heck have I done? What he realised, to his credit, was that it wasn't just having the carrot of university education being paid for that would keep these kids studying and in school, but there was a lot of sort of day-to-day attention they needed to overcome the issues of, it might be learning disabilities, it might be teenage pregnancy, it might be drugs, it might be, neighbourhood or family breakdown. So what he did is he hired a full-time social worker to work with this group of 60 kids, and it was an amazing success. Of those 60 kids, 75% of them graduated from high school, and the bulk of them went on to university education.
Scott heard about the I Have a Dream program while working in the US. 2 years ago, he returned to New Zealand with a dream of his own. After extensive research, he brought the first I Have a Dream program outside America to this Decile 1 school, Wesley Primary in central Auckland. In return for hard work and commitment, these kids are going to get academic support and financial assistance to help them achieve their education and career goals.
I've been lucky in life. I've had some success, and it's a great opportunity for me to share that back.
I met Scott when he came to Wesley, where I was running an after-school project of my own. I became the I Have a Dream project coordinator, and together we started the program early in 2003.
We take the whole class. Some programs take the really talented kids and accelerate them. Others take the really problem kids and sort of provide remedial help to those. But what you end up having is 80% in the middle that aren't at either end of the bell curve, that not necessarily forgotten about, but don't get the extra resources or the time and the care and the attention. Some of the kids probably would have got to university on their own. Some might still end up in jail, even with our help. But we think there's a bulk of the kids we hope to have an impact on their lives.
The project is called the Wesley Class of 2012 because that's when the kids are going to graduate. And these kids have a full-time project coordinator working with them over those 10 years to provide support, to provide, counselling and help, and a bit of a nudge and say, you can do it.
I have a dream, I have a dream, people all around the world. I have a dream,
My name is Mosa. I have a dream.
his name is Mosa, he has a dream.
I'm gonna
Here we picked up our kids when they were 7 and 8 years old in year 4 at Wesley Primary School, and we're going to work with them all the way through to 2012, the next 10 to 15 years. The scheme provides academic support through its after-school program. Each child comes twice a week for 2 hours where they have access to computers, tutors, and a whole range of support that complements what's being learned in the classroom.
Tell me what you've been learning about at school. I want to know what you've been learning in class.
I'm learning about bullying.
You're learning about bullying? What have you learned?
Before we get them to sit down and do another couple of hours of extra work, they usually let off steam first.
Okay, so here we go. Remember the rules, no snatching. Pass it to each other. That's it. Go 1, 2.
Oh, we come to Dreamers every Thursday and Tuesday, sometimes Friday.
They give you tutors, and that's how you get to learn. Oh, sorry, it's hard.
Ant came and talked in assembly at the start of last year, I think.
Yeah.
And we heard about it, and we just thought it sounded like a lot of fun.
At first we just started off helping generally, but now they've got a tutor program up and running, so we've got 2 or 3 students each that we tutor when we come for about an hour.
Now, I'll write a couple more just in case they're too easy, and then no, every 5 minutes I'm checking you, and then at the end you have free time. There you go, the last one's a bit harder. So, I'm going to go away, and I'll be back in 5 minutes, alright? Cool. Good work.
You know, there's so many people that just don't get a good start to life or, you know, good education when they're little. And so I thought, you know, it'd be great to try and change some of that.
Mars.
What are we missing? The blue one.
I know.
The blue one.
Venus.
What happened with these kids if I Have a Dream wasn't here?
They wouldn't have a direction. They wouldn't do badly, but they won't have a direction, an aim, like a goal set for them. Because I Have a Dream sets them goals. Because like, they have goals like you have to go to grammar school.
I was born in Tunisia, but then I left there when I was young. I didn't even speak any English when I first started. I could hardly say my name. Lots of people gave me everything. Everyone taught me new things and everything. And I thought it would be great to give something back to the new generation.
Thank you for coming. It's been a while actually since we've had a parents' meeting, so I sort of thought...
The question that was on everybody's mind, how much was it going to cost us? You know, we all thought we all had to fork out money for it, yeah. And then we were told, no, it's costing us nothing. And then we looked, you know, we had this videotape that they showed us about how it's run in America. And, you know, I'm glad. You know, the families around here, a lot of them have got a lot of kids in their families. And, you know, you've got to find money to even just say send them to primary school, send intermediate college. But, you know, you get a chance like this, you take it with both hands and you say, yeah, you know, I'll give one of my kids a chance.
Actually, I cottoned onto it straight away. But then I had to say to Scott, look, pop out there and have a look at some other schools in low socioeconomic areas so you could get a feel of the big picture of things out there. And I was quite chuffed when he came back and said, right, you know, he was going to make the offer to us if we wanted to develop a partnership with him. One of the first things I checked out with Scott, I said, right, okay, you know, you're focusing on one class, that would be one child in a particular family, you know. And he was asking the same questions about the children, brothers and sisters. But he said that the evidence in the state is that the family catches the knowledge as well.
We work very, very closely with the school. There's a strong school partnership between I Have a Dream and the local primary school that we work in. We're based here on the school site. We have a classroom on the school site where we work. We work with the teachers, we work with the principal, we work with, you know, all the staff involved in the school.
I don't know.
The school itself gave us a classroom to use, and all the computers in it were donated by HP and Microsoft. We've also managed to put computers in all the children's homes.
We've had people just call us up out of the blue and say, I want to get involved, and can I do this, can I do that?
I play football, or Kiwis call it soccer, with Scotty, and I saw him on Breakfast News with Jade and talking about this program, and I basically rang him up and I said, are you looking for volunteers? I grew up in a North London council estate with kind of alcoholic parents and went to a school where I was the stupidest. I knew what it was like to feel like a dumb, and figured that there were a couple of kids and a couple of teachers and people in my life that made me realise that I could do anything that I wanted to do. And from a very young age it was driven into me that I could get out of the situation I was in, and it was up to me. And I did it. And I just thought it'd be really cool to give something back.
These kids are so representative of any group of 9 and 10-year-old kids, except they're coming from households without a lot of toys, a lot of luxuries, perhaps not particularly high, well, they don't have high expectations don't probably have the expectation to go to university. So yeah, this is a huge opportunity for them, and the kids see it as that. I know they do. They're very committed. They're required to regularly attend 2 after-school sessions a week.
If you look at Decile 1 schools in Auckland, the number of people from entering third form going on to university is between 0 and 5% on average. If you go to Decile 10, it's 60 to 70% going on to university. And that's a very poor outcome, I think, for this country. You need to be literate and numerate just to have a basic job nowadays. And so Wesley Primary School here is a Decile 1 school. It's an entirely immigrant community, mostly from the islands, but a few Iraqis and Turkish and so on families. And these are people that often get left behind by the educational system. So basically, the kids, they're the faces of the future of New Zealand, and they're marvellous kids, but I don't think we should condemn them to these kind of poor educational outcomes.
When you look at tertiary education since the 1980s, there has been an increase in overall tertiary participation. Pacific and Māori students are really underrepresented at university level.
So what do you guys think you'd do if I Have a Dream wasn't here?
Well, life will be... They will have to pay for our scholarships and it'll cost lots.
At first he had an attitude about I'm a dreamer and I can do whatever I want, but I think it's slowly come down to where he needs to be now with all the other kids.
Jamie will come home and she'll tell me that she learns this and that at I had, and I'll say to her, no, that's wrong. But Coach said, and I'm like, who's Coach? That's Anthony. Oh, okay. How come you call him Coach? Because that's his name when we're at I had. And the hips start swaying. They think of him real highly, more than like his word is God. Our word is whatever.
If you didn't come here after school, what would you do?
Oh, movies. I'll be to see it. I'll be dumb.
What's the 9 planets?
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto.
Which one's the closest to the sun?
Mercury.
Good.
Oh.
Which one's the furthest?
Huh?
Which one's the
Pluto.
furthest? Since when did you start learning? Okay. It becomes infectious in the same way that it's infectious for the kids, it becomes infectious for those working on it, because you get to see the results. I mean, he's been writing out that both of these guys have been doing stuff over the last couple of months that they couldn't have done before.
Oh, the best part about everything. Computers, work, free speeches, the trips, everything.
And what do you think of your tutor?
He's the man. And he's very
Thanks,
cool.
guys. I owe you one.
Once you've got your team of 3, sit down your team of 3 and I'll give you...
A team of 4.
I'll give you a rubbish bag and we'll tell you what we're going to be doing.
Every now and then we spend a few hours doing community work. The kids have painted fences, cleaned graffiti, and even done the weeding. This is all about helping them take responsibility for their own community. Another thing that we're focusing on is the whole side of social enrichment. It's not just a program about education, about learning, about studying hard, but there's also the social enrichment side. We take these kids on field trips. A lot of them haven't necessarily hugely explored the world outside their own little Wesley community here. We get them out and about.
I think about Scott. He's a very kind man, even, and they're both kind. They pay for us when we go on the bus. Dreamers only, they pay for the trips. On next week on Saturday we're gonna go to Waitomo Caves on a 3-hour bus. It has air conditioner. I have a funny feeling that's gonna be cool.
We are on our way to Waitomo Caves. Now, estimated time of arrival, it actually takes 3 hours to get there, so our estimated time of arrival is about 11:45. So please, children,
Don't ask me every 5 minutes from now, are we nearly there? Because you can look at the clock up here, and when the big hand is on the 9 and the small hand's nearly on the 12, that's around about when we're going to get there. Okay? So about still just over 2 hours to go. We've been on lots of various trips here and there, which not only support what they're learning sometimes in class, but also get them out and about and get to do the things that perhaps you and me as a kid like to do and had the chance to do, because maybe our parents were a little bit more in a situation where they could provide those opportunities for us.
I Have a Dream program has been really, really good for me in the way that it's actually keeping my 9-year-old occupied, as well as I'm saying like being out of trouble and stuff like that. It's actually giving him a chance to expand, like the computer courses and the trips.
We look at him now, he know more than the beginning of starting school, and then we know that's from 3 months. Me and my husband, we very surprised some of the words he used. We can't believe for his age. We can't believe that. It just makes me feel proud of him.
We can see some changes in Amanda.
Already?
Yeah.
Tell me. Yeah.
So, because when Amanda first started, her reading was not that sharp, and the way she picked up things was not that, And all of a sudden, I see her change, Say, Dad, come on, I want to read this book. Come, my aunt said, you got to read this book to me. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, especially when sometimes they come and say, oh, can you do us a spelling test? And I'm surprised,
Do you think you've got better?
Yep.
What's improved?
My story writing, my maths, my behaviour, and my reading. Your behaviour? Yes.
What do you call this?
The Earth.
Yeah, and it's called a globe, isn't it?
At the moment, the Dreamers' world is quite small, but once they leave Wesley Primary, they'll spread out for their intermediate and high school years and will continue to provide academic support. One of the main aims of this program is to raise the Dreamers' expectations. At the moment, it's through guest speakers, trips, tutors, but as they get older, it'll be through careers information, job shadowing, course selection, and mentors.
With Jamie, she knows where she wants to go, but she's still kind of work it out within herself, whether she does want to be a pilot or she does want to be a cook. So, she's talking about those sort of careers at the moment, so that's really good. She's actually thinking of becoming something or someone or get a career, whereas my son just wants to, whatever, I'll just do it for today, tomorrow's another day. But she's kind of like looking towards her future, which I've never seen in her before.
It's taught her to open up more and talk. She's not claiming it in anymore. If she's got a problem, she'll tell me.
What Amanda is learning in I Have a Dream, she shared it to my younger daughters. And the way I see them, how they react to what Amanda is saying or reading, they pick it up.
What is on her mind for a dream is she wanted to be a teacher. What I'm looking at here now, she's trying very hard, and I hope and I think she will reach her goal.
The year my son was starting school, he don't know what he's gonna be in the future. But when the dreamer come across and he had a dream, he want to be a judge.
It's actually giving the kids a chance to advance themselves and show them a different way. Because where they're being brought up is actually pretty rough community, very rough community. And as a parent myself, I would like to not see my children involved in this. I'm doing everything I can to prevent them from going on the wrong track. But like I said, parents can only do so much, and it's just fabulous having Anne Scott around to help us out with something like that.
7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Never checked you.
At the end of the day, what I find is rewarding about this is that these guys have to walk through the door. They could easily skip out and do it, but they take the time to come after school and say, I want to learn, I want to be part of it. And just seeing them learn 6 times table because they've been given the time to learn it outside the regular school kind of criteria and all the kind of stuff that goes with the classroom of the smarter kids and the dumber kids and the middle kids and the speed. These kids walk through the door and say, hey, I've got a dream, I want to do something. Working with that that's what the program's about.
There's so many things we can do to enrich these children's lives. So ultimately the I Have a Dream program is about extending the family so that it's not just mum and dad and aunties and uncles, it's not just the teachers, it's not just Aunt and me, but it's a whole network of caring adults that are really involved in these children's lives and want to make sure that they succeed. And you know, university is the ultimate goal here, but as long as they come out of high school literate and numerate and able to hold down a job and contribute to society, that's the goal of the program.
For me, it's a great opportunity. I just want to see what's going to happen, you know, like these little kids that are running around now, 8 or 9 years old, you know, saying that they want to be this, want to be that, you know, it's just going to be so great just seeing them grow up and develop and learn and perhaps, you know, become what maybe they thought they wanted to be when they were a little kid.
I have a dream, I have a dream, people all around the world. I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream, people all around the world. I have a dream, my name is Anna, I have a dream.